The 2008 West Bank Super Series visited the Free State last weekend when the Phakisa Raceway, situated between the towns of Welkom and Odendal-Rus, hosted the 7th round of South Africa's largest and most prestigious circuit racing tour.
We are going racing. Welcome to round 7 of the West Bank Super Series. And it's the town of Welkom that is welcoming us to some really incredible racing. Phakisa is where we're at. With me, Chops Sabuka. Chops, this is an amazing circuit. Tell us why the drivers love it so much.
Absolutely. You know, this is one of the circuits that has become in South Africa a great circuit because it's built on an international standard, a very challenging circuit, very fast. And it's a circuit that gives drivers the opportunity to unleash whatever they have under the hood.
Unleashing what they have under the hood. Chops, we're going to be in for some great racing. You guys at home, hold on to your seats.
Top billing for the weekend belonged to the Bridgestone South African Production Car Championship contingent. Fittingly, the most popular topic of conversation in the paddock centered around the use of tyres. We spoke to Bridgestone Motorsport manager Jan Maritz.
Okay, I'm joined by Jan Maritz from Bridgestone. Jan, the big talk in the paddock this weekend, especially with the Bridgestone Production Car Class A, is the move from 17 to 18-inch. The guys are loving the extra rubber. Tell us what exactly that's going to do for a car.
Marius, obviously with a bigger footprint, we moved from a 225 to a 265 section width and a lower profile, 45 profile to a 35 profile. There's more rubber on the road, so you should be able to carry more corner speed, especially the two-wheel drive cars.
That's what the guys were saying. Obviously the Audis with a four-wheel drive aren't feeling the advantage as much as the rear-wheel drive cars, but they did say to us yesterday that they can carry more corner speed, but for a rear-wheel drive car coming out of the corner, surely they're going to have better drive as well.
Yes, the Audis, being four-wheel drive, like you say, already had a large amount of mechanical grip in the corners, where the two-wheel drive couldn't get on the power that quickly and they had to brake earlier. Now the two-wheel drives can now get on the power much quicker, so they are at more of an advantage. Obviously on your straight line speed, the bigger tyres do create more drag, so your top speeds are lower on the straights, but it's a trade-off basically.
We asked an expert about the other ways to make production cars quick.
We're joined by Nissan Motorsports, Glenn Hall, and he's going to give us the inside info on engine mapping. Glenn, I don't need a map to find my engine. I know it's in the hood. What exactly does engine mapping mean?
Well, engine mapping is actually very important in production cars because the rules don't allow you to change many things on the car. So the engine mapping actually controls the amount of fuel and the amount of spark in the engine. Lots of other parameters, but those are the two key issues.
So you obviously log into a computer and you can monitor the results?
Well, we have a thing called a lambda sensor on a car, a device there, and this monitors the air-fuel mixture in the engine, and that takes care of the fuel mixture, and we can download the engine computer data and see what the differences are and fine-tune it, and it really does make a difference to the engine.
Now, not being a technical guy, I'm imagining that's important when you're going from a place like Phakisa down to Killarney in Cape Town with the altitude.
Absolutely. There's other parameters within the maps which control the altitude correction. So when we go down to Cape Town, for instance, from Johannesburg, that's automatically taken care of. So it's just fine differences that we fine-tune on the day.
Other people in the pit lane faced much bigger challenges.
Came here with Melville Priest. You looked like you were doing fairly good times out in the first practice session until you started throwing bits of engine at everybody on the pit wall. Tell us what happened.
Well, you know, we were fourth in the first session, quickest Audi, about 6/10 off the Nissan, which everybody knew was going to be quick based on testing last week. So, yeah, we were quite positive going into the second session. Did 2 laps and had a big let go. The motor just came to a grinding halt within 100 meters. So, yeah, so now it's time to change engine and hope we can get to qualifying.
Not unexpectedly, competitors in rear-wheel cars dominated Friday afternoon's official qualifying session, taking the first 4 places on the grid. Afterwards, we interviewed the 3 quickest drivers.
Yeah, I must say, firstly to my team, a big thank you. We struggled in the first 2 practice sessions this morning with a bit of a misfire, and they really did a good job to get the car right for qualifying. So I'm reasonably happy with third. The car seems to be going very well once again. So hopefully we can pull it together in the race.
Second quickest and quietly confident was Afrock's BMW driver Etienne van der Linde.
It went reasonably well. Obviously, we were trying hard to get pole position, but well done to Nissan this time. We've still got a couple of things to sort out on new rubber, seeing that this is our first race on the 18-inch wheels. So at the moment we're still learning a bit how everything works, and I mean, I can't really complain. All day we've been right on pace, and I think we should be strong tomorrow. We've got quite a consistent car, so over the race distance I think we'll be looking good.
Finally, pole man Leroy Poulter.
No, look, I'm happy with it. I wish it came a lot earlier. It just shows it does help us, yeah. Again, we're going to have to see in the race. We don't know yet. But definitely my car is fantastic. The team we've tested here and really done a good job.
It was a confident Leroy Poulter that led the field around the flying start of Saturday's opening race.
Class A Bridgestone production cars at the Phakisa freeway. Rear-wheel drive is what it's been all about, and Leroy Poulter will be very happy to lead them into turn number 1, followed closely by the Afrox, BMWs, and then we pick up on the one and only Subaru in the field, Davy Olafrea. He's been trying very hard, but problems with setup. No such problems out front for Poulter.
Yeah, you talk about the problems for setup with Davy, bouncing around corner 1. What was interesting for me, these 3 guys leading the race out were the same 3 that were qualifying fastest at Kyalami. The talk, of course, Matt, as you know, wider rubber for the guys. The 18 inches the guys are racing with in Class A, and that really has helped the rear-wheel drive Nissans and, of course, the BMWs, the Afrox guys, looking very strong up front. Michael Stephen, the first of the Engine Audi Extremes, leading the Audi chase.
Yeah, he's the man on the move. He's been looking very racy all season long. But look at this out front. The rear-wheel drives are still leading out. No one's getting away as well. We talked about the rear-wheel drive. They're really fast going in and coming out. But the four-wheel drives have got the drive mid-corner, so they'll be closing up, and Michael Stevens should be coming on. The man who's missing at the front, last year's champion, Sean Watson-Smith, having a dismal weekend.
Yeah, he hasn't had a great weekend. Changing the motor a few times on his Audi. Hasn't been happy with setup, hasn't been happy with any drive or speed. And there you see him right at the back, tucked behind Johan Fourie. And him and Johan are getting to their own little battle right at the back. But certainly Sean doesn't want to be that far back with a championship to defend.
Davy Olafrea in the Subaru, drifting a little bit wide. Looks like Melville Priest trying to get a move on the My Car Audi. Look how things are bunched up. Very tight. Everyone's closing up, and I can see the four-wheel drive starting to come through. Etienne van der Linde and Taylor. And look at Da Cunha going around the outside. So the dealer team Nissan is coming on strong. It's not all about the Sasol out front, but Poulter will be looking in his wing mirrors because Team Afrox BMW are coming.
Yeah, he's gone super defensive into corner 1. Have a look, Anthony Taylor has actually put his BMW past Etienne van der Linde. And I think Leroy probably thought he was going to run away with this race. But the BMs are coming on hard and fast. Look at Michael Stephen dipping on the inside of Etienne van der Linde as well. Sean and Johan bringing on the charge, going side by side through the wiggly little bits. This is exciting racing at Phakisa.
Look at that. Here we go. Michael Stevens shoving up the inside. So Etienne van der Linde, he's had problems that last lap. So now the leading BMW is Anthony Taylor. We go on board with Michael Stevens. Just to his left-hand side of this shot will be van der Linde. So watch Stevens going very defensive, closes right up on the back end of the Tubular Tech Nissan. Oh, that's Da Cunha, and he's looking very strong. But it looks like the four-wheel drives are starting to come through as we come to mid-race.
Yeah, I think Michael's got himself in a great position, putting Marco Da Cunha under some serious pressure as they head into the back section, the fast section. This is where these Class A's cars really get to stretch their legs, foot flat, and it's super exciting racing. This is where you want to be hanging on as they wind it into this corner, hold the power, and then get the drive out. And this is where we said the Audis were so strong.
Poulter has had the perfect race, leading from pole position, getting ahead of the rest. Taylor has had the drive of the day, though, so far, coming through traffic, but we're coming into the last corner. Has he got what it takes? It doesn't look like it. Poulter is really looking good, and he'll be so happy to walk away with these points, trying to hang on to a climb in the championship.
Poulter scored Nissan's first race victory of the year, while BMW's Anthony Taylor set a new overall production car lap record at Phakisa. We spoke to the winner.
Leroy, have you caught your breath from that race? You said it was a workout.
No, definitely. I think, we thought we had a bit more in hand than that. I took it a bit easy in the beginning. Just thought the car would get better and we'd get away, but the BMs are really good and they stayed there, I think, again, it's just ecstatic we won, We needed this badly for Nissan and Sasol, and pulled it off.
Race 2, static start, reverse grid. We know how good the Audis are off the line. Have a look at that. Sean Watson-Smith leading them into that corner 1 with Davy Olafrea, that four-wheel drive Subaru, getting off the line super fast. Sean leads them in. Johan Fourie and Melville Priest are giving him some serious pressure into turn 1. And we have a look back there. We see the first of the Afrox BMWs coming through. Using all of the track is Michael Stephen. This is going to be a cracker race too.
Well, Sean Watson-Smith does lead out at the moment as we pick up on Cunha. He's got a long way to come through, but hopefully he can work with Poulter and the two Nissans can make a charge through. Sean Watson-Smith leads out at the front. Hasn't been on the pace all weekend though, so we should see his teammate coming through pretty early on. And Stephen is on a flyer, gets himself ahead of the BMWs, and he is in the fight.
Have a look, defensive lines going into the shoe section. Sean running wide, left the braking a bit late, and that's all Johan Fourie in the Indy Oils Audi wants to see. A bit of open track ahead of him. Where is Sean going to find his way back? Oh, he's dropped down to 4th position by the looks of things. Melville Priest is looking very racy. Also had engine problems, had a change of motor, but I think he seems to be happy with the replacement because that Audi looks like it's flying.
So we've got the two privateer teams leading out, Indy Oils versus the My Car Audi. These guys are looking fantastic so far, but the factory superstars are coming on. Audi Engine Extreme, Michael Stephen, he's on a charge, but Leroy Poulter's been having such a good day, he does not want to let the BMWs come through. You can see the yellow wing mirrors. That's Anthony Taylor bringing the fight to the Nissan.
That's amazing. When you get the onboard footage, you can actually see the defensive lines. Leroy Poulter blocking the Afrox BMWs, and Michael Stephen is putting his little nose in the way now as they make their way onto the start finish straight. But have a look at that. Van der Linde leading the charge for the Afrox BMWs, while Leroy and Anthony Taylor get themselves caught in their own little battle.
The man in second place is the man to watch though, Melville Priest. He's had a slow start to the year, but he's looking very racy here at the Phakisa Freeway. Indy Oils car, that's Fourie. He's looking good all year long. He's had some bad luck, and Van der Linde is in the fight now. He's trying to make a move on Stevens. There's contact.
Wow, look at that. Stevens getting pushed really wide. I don't think he's going to be too happy about that. But have a look. Smoking is that Audi Engine Extreme, and he seems to be slowing down, which is bunching all the guys up. Leroy Poulter going 2 wheels on the dirt. You don't want to be hanging on that pit wall. Look at that blow wave. Wow.
So that's the fight for 3rd place. We've got about 6 cars abreast. Davy Olivier coming up into the mix as well. The man that benefited from that, though, it looks like it was Poulter just sliding up the inside, and big problems for the Audi Engine Extreme vehicle of Michael Stephen. He's parking that.
He is parking it for sure, but let's catch up with the race action now. As you said, Leroy got a good hole shot through there, and he's now fighting with the 2 BMWs. Anthony Taylor leading that charge, but he's got the better line going through to this corner, but Etienne van der Linde is putting him under huge pressure. Out front, the 2 guys smiling, of course, Johan Fourie and Melville Priest having a race of their own.
The 2 Audis have gapped it due to that problem coming into that final corner on the previous lap. BMW is what it's all about now. Etienne van der Linde touches his teammate, and that in turn forces Poulter to go out wide. So Afrox BMW now 3 and 4. First of them is Etienne van der Linde as we look back at his teammate Taylor.
They must be pretty nervous in the Afrox BMW pit. We don't want to see these 2 taking themselves out. That's what happened in Kyalami in round 6, and certainly they're hoping for a clean race now. But this is the best of production racing, and you getting onboard footage. Incredible stuff.
Class A's, these are the most powerful cars we have in the Bridgestone Production Car Series, and the man out front is Fourie. He is looking super strong. They've got those big tyres on. He's definitely come to grips with it, but Priest is challenging for the lead. Actually looks like he's going to go up the inside.
That's an amazing line. That is good, clean racing. Both drivers leaving enough space, and I think Johan wants to have a tidy race. Or as I say that, of course, they're going to lean on each other, but certainly wanting to get both cars home. He's fighting for a championship race at the moment. Things have got super close, but looking at this, I think Melville Priest is just too fast.
But remember, the Chargers coming behind them. 3rd place is what it's all about. These guys are fighting out for the race win, but the BMWs are coming on strong as well. They've been climbing up the ranks so far this season, and it looks like they may come away with some better results this time around. Taylor now looking back there with the yellow wing mirrors, trying to get around his teammates as the Audis go back and forth. Now they're going to be slowing each other down, and we're going to see a very tight race coming to the finish.
Yeah, you can look, they're pushing each other wide. Johan Fourie finding a bit of dirt time, but in the distance, Sean Watson-Smith seems to be closing. I think all the racing that's going on ahead of him is giving him a chance to get his Audi up into the points-paying position, which is important for him as defending champion. Melville Priest going all defensive. Johan getting the inside line as they make their way to the start-finish straight, and he's bringing the BMWs with him. That Audi does not look healthy. I think there's a problem with Melville's car.
The My Car Audi definitely doesn't look as strong as it was. There must be a problem in that car slowing it down, because everyone is bunched up, and just behind Poulter, look at him, he lights up the back end of the Sasol Nissan. He is coming on strong, and at the back of the picture, Sean Watson-Smith, our champion from last season, looks like he is in the fight as well. He'll be hoping these guys can hang up a little bit longer and allow him to get front. There's a contact again. That looked like it was Van der Linde on the back end of Priest.
Yeah, Priest's car looked like it's looking for parking, and that's bunching up the 2 Afrox BMWs who are smelling blood. And look at they're bringing with them, of course, the Nissan Sasol of Leroy Poulter. This race has probably given Johan Fourie the little break that he's needed up front. You
can focus, consolidate, and hopefully save his tyres.
Well, it's great to see that everyone is having to race for the wins to get themselves up there. They'll be trying to chase down the India Oil's Audi out front of Fourie, but at the moment it is trying to get that second place. All about the BMWs at the moment. Taylor is definitely looking the stronger of the BMWs. Looks like he may be getting a little bit held up by his teammates because Poulter is all over the back end of the Afrox BMW, and these guys are going to go down to the wire. You can see in the front there, it looks like Fourie touched a little bit of dirt, so he's definitely pushing hard.
Yeah, and so Sean Watson-Smith catching up on the back of them. What was interesting, though, nobody knew how these 18 inches were going to help the guys during a race. And from what I've seen, I think the rear-wheel drive cars are way stronger now later in the race with less tyre wear. The rubber certainly is helping them. But it's a freight train coming down the back straight at Phakisa into the hold on for dear life tight section before they get onto the start free straight. And those BMWs are looking strong, opening a bit of a gap on Leroy Poulter. I think it's going to be a safe one for Johan Fourie.
Afrox BMW is glued together, and they've got a Fenter's trailer in the form of Leroy Poulter. He actually looks like he's dropped off the back a little bit. What he's probably trying to do is size up where he's a little bit faster, and there we go. Melville Priest, it's a front flat tyre. He hung on as long as he could, but he's just going to have to limp it and park it on the side.
Yeah, it's a sad sight. The Michael Audi parked on the side of the road. It's not the engine, it's the front tyre. As we see, Sean Watson-Smith was closing up so nicely, probably just trying too hard, leaving the braking a little bit too late, touching a bit of grass and coming off. But what a vision that is, eh? Both of the Audi engine extremes, one parked, one off the side of the track, making his way back, and that's just going to give Darren Lobb the opportunity to come steaming past. This isn't doing Sean's championship chances any good.
A weekend the Audi Engine Extreme team will like to forget as soon as possible. Things have closed up at the front though here. Etienne van der Linde certainly hasn't backed off the pace. I think he's relishing the challenge from behind from Taylor, and that's forcing them right up with Johan Fourie. But we're in the last corner. It is all about second place. Fourie has got this sewn up, and it looks like it's going to be van der Linde first home in the Afrox BMW, followed by his teammates.
With the new Phakisa lap record and the day's overall victory behind his name, Afrox BMW team leader Anthony Taylor was a happy man.
Championship's so tight now, you sort of have to take every opportunity that you have to get past, and I was just hoping that no one was going to make any violent movements, and it paid off for both of us in the end. So yeah, it was a great day for BMW and for Afrox. So yeah, and I think also, you know, once Etienne was in front of me again and I was behind him, I saw Leroy catching, and the whole time I didn't want to hassle him. I just wanted to get away from Leroy to catch the Melville and Johan. So yeah, it was a bit of team tactics also, I would say, but yeah, it was a good result for Afrox and BMW.
Johan Fourie's victory in race 2 stood him in good stead. He left Phakisa as the Class A championship leader, just 1 point ahead of Anthony Taylor, with 6 races left to contest this season. Class T for force-inducted cars produced some qualifying surprises at Phakisa. Etienne Prinsley was third quickest in his Mazda 3 MPS.
Yeah, I know, we had a terrible season so far, but it's going better now. I must say thank you to the whole team for endless night in the workshops. Mike, Trevor, Dion, thanks guys.
Second quickest and causing much excitement in the new Opel Astra OPC was Richard Rutz.
Yeah, it felt good. The car's been good all day. Graham had some bad luck and they changed the motor, so they did a hell of a good job, and that car was flying. I was trying to hang on to him and I had no chance, but tomorrow is another day.
It is a different day when it gets to race setup. A lot of guys have been talking about dust on the track. Does it affect you guys in your qualifying?
Yeah, qualifying is always a little bit uncertain, especially late in the day like this. The sun is low and that, so it's a bit of a hit and miss game, but I mean it went well. We did times that we didn't expect to do, so tomorrow's going to be interesting.
On pole position after tremendous effort by his pit crew was Seat Leon Cooper pilot Graham Nathan.
Yeah, my qualifying was great. I got out really early, but let me just correct you there. I didn't do the miracle job. My team and my support structure with regards to everybody behind me, Rob Green Motorsport, Sayat Hatfield, and the guys, everybody that pitch in and help out. They did a great job. My car blew the motor this morning, and it came back with the pace car motor to do a great job at the end of the day. The lap was good. I got away nice and clean. I didn't have any dust in my face. If anything, I was causing the dust, especially for Richard. But Yeah, we needed to get there, so whatever it takes sometimes. But agree with you, tomorrow morning or tomorrow will be a different day with regards to a race. You got to make the car last for 10 laps, not break the tires and not fall off the road, and that's going to be a hard one tomorrow. It's really not going to be easy.
Nathan's prediction was reflected by Saturday's opening race grid, which saw 5 separate vehicle manufacturers represented in the first 10 positions.
Class T's has seen some phenomenal racing so far in the 2008 Westbank Super Series. Graham Nathan's going to be leading them out. He's fighting for his championship and coming on strong, only joining the season halfway through. Record Roots in the Astra OPC looking amazing this weekend.
But also looking strong, Matt, the weekend have been the 2 Mazdas qualifying in 3rd and 4th. But it's Bozay who's driving around the outside of his teammate, who's being put under severe pressure by Gary van Heerden. And Etienne Prince has gone from 3rd way back.
So 3rd place, we've got Heinz Bozay just behind him. We've got the 2nd of the Astra OPCs, Gary van Heerden. He's looked very racy, but it's these 2 out front. Nathan leads out in the Seat. Then we go back. What is going on here? We've got a Polo GTI in the mix. Neville van der Merwe with a very strong and light vehicle, but has it got the handling to cope?
No, I think he looks Australian, a bit of a kangaroo. That car's bouncing around all the corners. I can't see that going race distance. Must be a nightmare around this track, trying to just get some rubber down. But having a look, Ian Pepper on the back of Gary Formato, the Ford Nando's STs have not had the greatest of weekends, and I'm sure Gary's hoping to improve on the race pace during this first race.
Pepper and Formato not having the best outing so far in practice and qualifying, both really struggling for pace, but they are good racers, and we're going to watch for them to try and come through the rest of the traffic. But at the moment, 1, 2 and 3, Nathan versus Roots versus Bozay. Hats off to the Mazda team. They've been looking for this kind of consistency. Let's hope it lasts the whole race.
Somebody else hoping it'll last the whole race is Graham Nathan. He's got a new motor in this car. They actually whipped it out of the Seat pace car at the track after blowing his engine in qualifying, and I'm sure he's going to hope that's going to survive. But yeah, look, the GTR is getting bunched up at the back. It's all racing at the moment at Phakisa as they're going.
Whoa, there's a bit of dust on the outside. Looks like one of the Mazdas just put a wheel wrong, and that's Prinsloo. He's had a stinker of a first heat so far, and he's dropping further back now. Everyone is bunching up. It looks like that's Formato, Pepper, and Kurt Olchen trying to get around that GTI that is just bouncing around the outside line.
Well, I think the GTRs are going to be storming past that Mazda, who certainly has backed the rest of the field up. But up front, Graham Nathan, Record Roots, and Record is closing on that Seat, looking very strong. But there we have a look. The other Mazda's now pulling off. Something must be wrong. A tyre or shock has gone, because he clearly knows his way around the racetrack. But this is not what the Mazda wants to see. Bad reliability again.
Bozay was in a battle with Gary van Heerden. They were fighting it out for 3rd place, and that's just gifted the 3rd place to the 2nd of the OPCs. Watch further down the road, though. See where the Fords are coming. Duminy having a storming drive so far, keeping himself ahead of his teammates and ahead of Ian Pepper, who is in the PG Autoglass, the first of the Golfs.
It's amazing. Duminy, first time around Phakisa, said to us he was loving the track, getting to grips with it, and what a great showing he's having. He's going to be stoked. But catching up now on board Record Roots, we saw him closing in the end stages of this race on the back of that Seat, and I think Graham Nathan's going to be put under severe pressure. It just seems like the OPC is maybe using the tyres a lot better as the race wears on.
What I would say is Nathan has pushed very hard from the front of this race, trying to free himself from the challengers behind him, and maybe he's cooked those tyres a little bit, because watch the drive that Roots gets. He's very strong on braking, which means the tyres are holding up very nicely, but it's the drive out onto this back straight, closing him up inch by inch. Definitely a stronger vehicle.
Yeah, he's going to be getting such a good tow down this back straight. This is flat out for these Class T Bridgestone production cars, and look, Record's pulled up alongside of him, caught away down the back straight already, and it's goodbye to Graham Nathan. Record Roots is looking far too strong in that Opel Astra.
The big man in the Seat will be absolutely gutted. He is fighting it out for the championship. He leads it as well, but he'll want to walk away with a win. He knows he was a stronger driver. Unfortunately, the tyre's just cooking. On the last lap, only a few corners to go, and it's a dice for 3rd.
Yeah, Gary van Heerden going all defensive on Sean Duminy. What a showing for him. 4th place in that Ford ST, but well done, Record Roots, followed by Graham Nathan. This has been exciting racing.
Record Roots scored the Opel Astra OPC's first South African motorsport victory in style, setting a new Phakisa Class T lap record in the process.
Dropping the clutches off the line first in the GTRs, Kurt Olchen, followed by Graham Donker with the reverse grip. But Gary van Heerden putting his nose where he probably shouldn't into turn 1. This is where all the action is. The GTRs where they want to be right out front after a poor showing in race 1.
I think Pepper was using his head in race number 1. He knew the grid was going to be inverted. He's lined himself up, so he's in line to run away with this win. On his shoulder, Graham Donker in the Minimax panel beaters GTI, and the man on the move is Gary Formato, finally getting a good start, gets himself around the outside of Kurt Olchen, and along with him comes Gary van Heerden. So everyone is up there in the mix, and we've got contact.
contact. We certainly do have Nathan and Bose and the Mazda fighting for the same piece of track. That's not going to help his championship results. Sitting in the kitty litter, he'll get that car going again, but way, way back of the field, even behind the Class Bs.
Almost behind the pace car, in fact. The number 21 Seat that leads the championship is right at the back of the grid. At the front of the field at the moment, PG Autoglass, Golf GTI leads out Gary Formato. Finally, the Ford is coming through and challenging for the leads. Graham Donker still hanging. He was at the front row, and was Kurt Alchin as well. He's in fourth, and just behind him, it looks like that's Gary Van Heerden. So Alchin has been the man on the move.
Another man on the move has been Richard Ritz, obviously with the reverse grid after race 1 win. The first win for the Opel OPC. He is fighting his way through the crowd, right in the back of Gary Van Heerden. He's going to get a great toe down here. I wonder if there's going to be any team orders in that Opel team.
I think we've got a little bit of shake and bake action going on here. Just going to slip out of the slipstream. Van Heerden moves over and allows his teammate to come through. We're looking to get a double on the day as we're on board with Donker, and there's a lot of sideways action going on.
That is not the way you want to be going in that Golf GTI. The panel beater sponsorship's going to come in handy. Mini Max through the kitty litter. Wow, scary losing it, and we were on board to catch up with all that action. And we see our Class B competitors. Haven't seen much of them today. Ben Morganrud putting Kwesi Swanepoel in the Barnett, Suyato Ranix under some pressure, but I think Ben's got that wrapped up.
Back at the front of the Class T's, it's still all about Pepper and Formato. Roots has got himself through into third place. Fourth now is a fight with Sean Duminy. He's in fifth, just under the back wheel of Kurt Alchin. What a drive. And that's what is going on there. We've got Gary Van Heerden going all the way straight, outbraked himself completely, goes up on the banking, and it's Indy racing.
Well, at least finally somebody's used that track. I think Gary's quite relieved. The nice extra runoff you do have at Phakisa allows you to come back, but he is not going to be happy. He's going to join right at the back of the grid, and he was looking so good for a strong finish.
Yeah, Gary Van Heerden was looking on form for a top 5, but his teammate's going to do him proud. We watch out for Record Route, slides it up the inside of Formato, and he's up into second place. Now he can chase down the race leader. We may see a double win here.
Yeah, I don't think Ian Pepper's going to be too happy looking in his mirrors and seeing that flying Opel Astra coming his way. But we know Pepper's an experienced campaigner. The GTI hasn't looked that fast today, so I'm sure he's going to be pulling out all of his experience and defensive lines to hold Record off from a double race win.
You know, Morris, you talk about lines, and you see very different lines. Record Routes can go up the inside, knowing he's got the power to drive the Opel OPC out. But Pepper's using very sweeping lines and trying to hold his corner speed. Look at third place, though. We've got a man on a mission. Formato is not letting go of this.
No, he certainly isn't letting go, and I think Duminy is in fourth place as well. If they can finish in that position, what a strong result for that Ford Nando's ST team. But Kurt Alchin's GTI said, I've had enough. You know, normally the drivers run for the hills, but Kurt's directing them quite well there. But have a look, Record Ritz all over the back of Ian Pepper. I think that car is just far too quick and strong.
The Astra OPC is tuned by Rob Green Racing, getting the drive out the corners, getting the suspension set up, under braking, the complete package, and we've seen what you can do when the car is working and the driver has the skills.
For our viewers at home, though, just fun to see how quickly these cars actually go. This is start finish straight, and already they're up to the 160 mark. And I don't think Ian Pepper has given up. I don't think he's that sort of guy at all, and he's going to be chasing down the super quick Record Routes. But behind, don't forget, Gary Formato has looked strong in that ST, and I think he's seeing an opportunity as well.
Here we go. Look at that. Ian Pepper closing up. What is going on? I think he's just throwing caution to the wind, tries to shove it up the inside. Oh, there's contact. Bit of sideways action. Rubbing is racing. Both the riders pull out of it. Wave of the hand. Sorry, Peps just outbraked himself.
Yeah, that was a gap that was never there, but great car control by Record Routes. But that's given Gary Formato the opportunity to slide through. That's what happens in racing. You sit, bide your time, patient, and let the other guy make the mistakes. And that's given Gary Formato a second place.
The battle now truly is for second place. Record Routes extending his lead. Formato looks like he has the pace to run with the OPC, but we're really running out of time at this race. He may not have chance to close it up.
Matt, you're right. No time left. Bodywork dragging off the back, but he's going to be stoked. A double win, the first for the Opel Astra OPCs, followed by Gary Formato in second.
Record Ritz' second victory in the Opel did not come on a plate. The first 3 cars crossed the finish line in the same second. Afterwards, we asked Ritz and Ian Pepper about their altercation out on the circuit.
I'd like to blame Reggie. His car's tyres were delaminating, and I saw it happening, and the only place I thought I could have a go was exiting the sweep. He lost it a bit, and he was trying to catch an incident that was going to happen. I went for a gap that was there. I don't think he saw me, turned in. I tried to back out of it. I thought I would have hit him in the door and buggered up both cars properly, and one of those things, eh?
from your side.
I'm sure that's his story and he's going to stick to it.
But good to see both of you smiling. Rich, for you, an unbelievable race. I mean, you started way back. The car was quick. Again, had a good, healthy lead, but happy with the result.
Yeah, the car was brilliant. I think I might have pushed a bit hard coming through the field, and then when I was past Ian, and I thought I'll just slow down a bit, and I felt a bit of vibration, and first I thought maybe it's a wheel coming loose, but it was just the tyres were just getting hot, that was the story. So I didn't even see Ian there. I turned in, I got a little bit of a love tap, but I'm not going to cry. We're going home with a good result.
Last Saturday's results left Seat's Graham Nathan and Volkswagen's Ian Pepper firmly on top of the current championship standings, with Ford's Gary Formato the closest challenger.